moment they can't hear the line, so we can get that. We get a text from the community, they can't hear us. Resignation board.
I'll make be amending the agenda to include the calendar update and the letter of resignation.
It's been moved and seconded that we amend the agenda so that we can discuss this part of this 24-25 school year, also for the region of the letter of resignation for these communities. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Any discussion? Amendment happened. Resignation of board. The Alamo County School District. This letter represents my official notice of resignation from my board position at Alamo County School District, which is to be finalized on August 1st, 2024. I regretfully to announce this decision due to personal reasons which have become too great for me to be able to perform the requirements of my position on the board. It has been a great pleasure to be alongside the individual at this organization and will always appreciate the experience and knowledge I gained through my involvement with our County School District. I hope the news period is enough for you to not take final placement. Furthermore, please let them know any help that I can be in the future to help me switch this transition. It's Katrina Humans. Yes, that her resignation and wish her yes and her enjoy. At this time, we will not be having a special election for this position because Ms. Humans' position will be up. So the board will do have to form. At this time, I will turn it to Dr.
Okay, it's on the agenda under my greetings. I'm going to go ahead and do it now. I wanted the community to be aware that we need to make some adjustments to the calendar. As you know, we had several days that we had to be out this school year due to our tropical storm. I believe the name was Debbie. Is that today? Tropical storm. Debbie came in and she did her due on us. We were out for 2 days, so therefore, by law, we have to make up those 3 days. So if I could draw your attention to our school calendar, I think that I would put in your folder, our school calendar should be there. Intercession occurs around October 7th, 8th, and 9th. That's our week of intercession. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. What I'm proposing is that we make up those days on the 7th, the 8th, and 9th because we're out for 10 days. I have already reviewed this with our staff, executive cabinet first, and then I met with all the principals as well as assistant principals and our auxiliary staff, and we came to an agreement that they feel as though that's the best recommendation. So I make that recommendation for you to consider. And then I will send it to our state superintendent for final approval, but I need your recommendation if you agree, so that I can put it out in the community so parents can be. So October 7th, 8th, 9th, what I'm recommending as those 2 days that we will make up for our students since we were out in those weeks. Any discussion on that before I ask you for more? Woman Romano says she's okay with that. Looks like we're okay with that. Can I have a recommendation that I can move forward?
I give the superintendent, I mean, recommendation that we accept necessary changes that we have in the first 24, 25
Can I have a second? And thank you. Everybody's in favor? All right, thank you. I'll make that recommendation right to the state superintendent of tomorrow, that we will use October 7th, 8th, and 9th as our makeup days. Thank you so very much for your support.
At this time, we will have Ms. Chastity Myers give us some updates about Hope Retreat.
Good evening, everyone. It's so good to see you all out tonight. On July the 20th, we had a board retreat. What we know is that any good leader, any good board, whenever you have a board position, you're going to make some kind of decision over people. You need to take the time out and get together, get your thoughts together, and then get somebody to come in and inform you, and maybe some ideas or some procedures that you may not have been clear on, or sometimes you just need some confirmation of what you already know. And so on July 20th, we did just that as a board. We got together and Mr. William Coleman came and facilitated. And what we really went over was policy management and Robert rules of order. We did different scenarios of how we should respond when different things come our way. Very informative, but I think most of all, what we left with was that we were more unified when we left. We had an opportunity just to sit and really talk to each other and really just learn maybe some procedures or some ideas that we necessarily did not know or did not know where to find them. And so he was able to really point us in a direction. So we thank Dr. K for allowing Mr. Bowman to come in with us. Everybody was there. We got a lot of takeaways we were talking about. And so what we want to do is we want to do the best board possible. In order to do the best board possible, we have to be informed. We have to take the time out every now and then and learn some new ideas and some thoughts from people who are more advanced in this kind of thing than we are. And so I want you to know something. We as a board, we're really invested in this community. We're really invested in our children. We're invested in our teachers and our staff. And we want to be the best we can be. The model of the mantra is together we can do this. I often tell people, I don't have it all together, but together we have it all. So as a community, as this board comes together, we may not have all the answers, but we're trying to get them. But as a community, we have to go to every corner of our community and make sure that everybody is working for the same good for our children. So thank you very much.
those minors. Myself, along with my kid, attended the SCSBA conference in Charleston. I must say that was one of the best conferences I was on the board. It was very educational. And the purpose of that conference is to give board more information about legal processes of federal and state laws and how we can do better school board meetings for our communities. There was a lot of different workshop operations, and I attended 3 of them. And one that I attended because I don't really know a lot about the special needs positions, and they gave a lot of information. And I was kind of known, they say most states, South Carolina Department, most states fails to meet special education requirements. So I know a lot of times Alabama kind of get beat up if they say don't do it, but it's a statewide position that they're trying to make sure they give our children the benefits they need. So they're looking into the fact as what's available our children with that role. So I think as a whole, Alabama Congress doing a great job with that. Another one I attended that I thought was very educational. I was curious more than anything to say that I can't talk about that in employee. So the workshop is very informative, and I think we as workers really need to know a lot of times things that happen to the school, happen to the community, to our employees, and first thing was called board members. But we as board members, we don't have the right to entertain that. That's why we have to see the superintendent the human resource person, because a lot of times things get really hectic and we have to come to the board. The board has to speak. If you listen to the situation, you can't entertain your part of the process. So, and I always sometimes make it easy, I'll tell you to talk to the superintendent. But we as board members, we don't have the right to entertain anything that happens to an employee. That's not our responsibility. And we did have another one called the Grant Bag. And that basically told us what we learned in our retreat, just how we should act, our needs about things. It was a very educational workshop. It was from that Saturday, that Sunday, but it was 12 of them. And I really got a lot of them.
Okay. So I'll piggyback on that. It was great. It was my first time for the school law conference. And I enjoyed it tremendously. I enjoyed more than anything hanging out with the board member Russell and just really getting to know her all over again. But I took as well, technicians that I chose to attend with those policy updates, because policies really get a superintendent and a supervision control. And we're in the process of updating some of our antiquated policies. And you'll see several of the policies that we're working on currently. So there's a new policy update manual that's around 190 pages. So I have the opportunity to go through many of those policies and see those that we need to change in our policy manual as well. Some of those are the gender policies, some of those are the self-care policies, some of those are some current legislations that are out there about what teachers can say, what teachers can't say, and how they interact with social media, and what can get them in trouble, what can get us in trouble, and how I need to just make sure that teachers understand how they are to act professionally when they're interacting with parents and those types of things. And also, and then they went over a lot of the special ed policies that they need to update. And one of the things that they spent a lot of time on is talking about our policies for our website. And I came back immediately and sent that to our communications person. And she's working on making sure that we make sure all of our website is up to date with everything that we need to make sure with our disability. So that we make sure that we're adhering to all of those. So it was very, very beneficial to all of us.
Mrs. Russell. Dr. Haley, I just want to clarify one thing for me and for the people who are in attendance, that there is a protocol for police. However, when you approach a board member, we must refer you to the superintendent. But boards with power has the last say so when it comes to the behavior of police.
Can you say it again? You said that.
What Ms. Russell said about what came out in the meeting, it's right. When you have concerns, you should not bring those concerns to the board member. You should take them to Dr. Haley or whoever, if it's another issue. However, the boards have authority. They make the last decision when it comes to employees and behavior and things of that sort.
Yes, but policy with employee grievances, I think is where we're going. And then there's classified employees can be dismissed by the superintendent. Certified employees are under the Dismissal Act. I believe I'm correct, attorney. Certified employees. The classified employees are hired and terminated by the superintendent. My turn. I probably can do this without my board. I was just going for everybody else to be able to have it. I don't want my back to be in anybody's. Is that okay? Yeah. All right, so tonight I'd like to just give an update a little bit. Good evening to everyone, and I'm delighted to be able to see all of you all who are here this evening. So just my updates. Just tell you a little bit about what has happened this summer. We have a lot going on. There's always a lot going on down there in the school district. We may be small, but we are mighty and we're powerful. We have lots going on all the time. It's not daily. It's not really around. So we had a leadership retreat, and we had a leadership retreat at Survival. I think everybody here, everybody that attended on to raise your hand. Okay? They had a good time, they worked, so they had some fun, but they also had some work done. About 20 people attended. We had professional development there with some visioning, some mission, beliefs, and portrait of an Allendale County graduate. We worked on our instructional framework. We had data, root cause analysis, and we did some team. Okay? Then several of us attended the South Carolina School Administrators Conference in Myrtle Beach, and then some persons went to the Model School Conference. In the summertime, it's really important for professionals to get their professional development. That's the only time they really have the opportunity to be able to go and travel. Instructional coaches went to the Relay Education on instructional practices. And then, of course, we had summer school, and then there was a lot of intense curriculum writing. So now we're going to talk about a little bit about what's planned for 2024. There are a lot of other things planned for 2024, but this is just some things that are planned. And board members, I have all of this in your packet. So we have an e-com, which is a weekly message that goes from curriculum instruction, not just from curriculum instruction, but all the departments put out a message in our weekly communication. What we have found is that consistent message is better. So we try to keep departments sending out messages, because principals get messages from everyone. So it's better if it's all in one message for them. We have uniform pacing guide K-12. We have early academy at Allen Fairfax High School, and that early college academy is at Salt. This fall, how many students are at early college academy? We have 8. All right, so we have 8 students who are in early college academy, so we look forward to them being able to graduate in the near future. All right? They go over on the bus, and they go over themselves. They go over on the bus. Just want to make sure I have all the facts correct. Then we're starting esports and STEM. We're really excited about that. If you don't know what esports is, it's our gaming class. Web design, so we're looking forward to that class getting started. We hired someone, so we're looking forward to that person getting started. And STEM education. We hired a CDL instructor, so we're excited about that for our students as well. We'll be continuing cooking matters at the middle school for our children getting the opportunities to have a cooking class. Our chorus class is going from 40 to 79 students, so we're really excited about growth in our chorus class. We will have a reading goal because Dr. Murdoch probably is getting tired of me asking him about that every single day, but we're going to have a reading goal this year with our middle and our high school students. We're going to have some intramural basketball competition, K-6. And then we have pilot specialists hired for our middle and high school. We already have one for our elementary. So as we continue with professional development, we have professional development for math, geology, science, and social studies that will go out for the year. We'll continue with our behavior consultant support for teachers for Kevin Dale. This year, we have a district parent liaison under the director of our programs office. We have a redesign of our alternative education program because we have a new director up there that will start, that has started. We have an Overage Academy for school students. We probably have about 4 students that are in the Overage Academy at the alternative learning program. And then we're starting an alternative learning program for elementary school. So those are just some of the things. There are other things that we're starting, but those are just some of the things that we are starting this year. Mm-hmm. I'm really proud of Vanessa. She's here, Ms. Badger. I want you to join me in just giving her a hand. And I'll tell you why. She really has a passion for our children in this school. So she was given the job of our truancy officer prior to my arrival. So she decided she wanted to write the Strong Connections grant. And she wrote the Strong Connections grant with the help of Ms. Tanya Davis and Dr. Miller. And did I leave out anybody? Okay, those are the 2 persons who helped. And she was awarded this grant. 2 in this grant, and this grant. All right. So she was awarded this grant. Look at how much? And it's the State Department, the U.S. Department of Education grant. So it addresses chronic absenteeism to support our students' success and enhance graduation rates. So she's the project manager, and that was the team, and I left Ms. Grant off, but I will add Ms. Grant's name there. And then it's a partnership with Graduation Alliance. She's already sent me all of the contracts that I need to read and send to the attorney so that we're ready to move along. So I'm really proud of the work that we're getting ready to do because I think with it will come a success coach that will work with us and try to get our students to come to school. So we're really excited about that. Thank you so much, Ms. Badger. Okay. Now, technology is always the issue in every district wherever you go. So we have a new technology director this year. Some of the things that we are working on is the availability of technology, the connectivity of technology, the equity of resources for technology, and the development of how we manage our resources, how we allocate our resources, and how we design our resources, and how we design programming for children as well. So all of those things are some of the things that we're working on with the director of Mr. Stanfield and Mr. S. Okay, got that name right? All right. Okay. So thank you so very much for the things that you do there. Okay? So next, I'm going to sit and Dr. Will is going to come up and he's going to talk about the resources.
Good evening, everyone. I am Dr. John Miller, the Chief Human Resource Officer here in Alphaville County School District, and I have a few slides. Just want to introduce myself because this is a new role for me this year in the school district. I'm supported by our HR department specialist, Ms. Linda Hall. We are extremely excited because though we had many positions that we needed to fill between the end of the school year and the beginning of the school year, I can definitely say that collaboratively we were able to fill many of those positions. We only have, and actually I believe that has changed since I did this initial slide because I believe we were down to, okay, maybe 5. So we have 5 CTE, 5 FTEs for current certified vacancies left. That is a kindergarten teacher position, which is currently being held by a retired teacher. Okay, so a long-time sub, she's a retired teacher that has that class. A fifth grade teacher, which is a math and science position, and that is also being currently held by a long-time substitute. That is an immediate specialist. That's all we have to do for our elementary school. For our middle school, we only have one position vacant, and that is the math and conventionalist position. And for Alphaville Fairfax High School, a math teacher is needed, and that is for second semester. As it relates to classified vacancies, there are no vacancies at Alphaville Fairfax Elementary School for classified. All right. There are no vacancies for the middle school. There are no classified vacancies at the high school. There's only one custodial position under the district office officers and 2 bus drivers. And one of those bus drivers is actually going through the process now, but I still need to include that person, that position. So 2 bus drivers and 1 custodial position. These are recruitment initiatives. As you know, being a good school district, we have to think outside the box. And so there are several recruitment initiatives that we have at Keller Education. Oh, it was a great day on Friday. We actually had Keller Education to come, and we did onboarding on site for individuals. We had at least 10 persons that came throughout the community that came in and wanted to be a Keller Education substitute. So let's give the community a round of applause for that. And if there's anybody else out in the community who feel like they want to give back to the school and to the community and would like to become sub, certainly begin to work with that with Keller Education staff. Job fairs, Full Mind, Teachers of Tomorrow, Carolina Cap and PACE, and some of those things are actually alternative certification routes. So what that means is if a teacher did not come through a teacher ed program, but they actually have a desire and passion and will and want to actually become a teacher, there are so many alternative certification routes that a teacher can actually take, or a person can take to become a certified teacher. So we're going to show a brief video. For those of you may know that we be a part of the Full Mind Learning. And Full Mind Learning, especially at the middle of the high school last year, we actually brought in virtual teachers through Full Mind. And I wanted to do this video because the video that Full Mind partnered with Alphaville County School District created this video, and I wanted you all to be able to see this because sometimes when parents hear that they have a virtual teacher teaching their children, you know, they may not know exactly what that entails. And so this video tells a whole lot about what Full Mind Learning does and how it supports our school district as a one school district here in Alphaville.
When I grew up here, everyone knew our teachers were very involved in personal life and growth. I decided to pursue a life of education because our communication is struggling and to give back to so many We used to be able to do at lots of businesses, but here, there's not as much industry, there's not as many activities for the children to get involved in. So I simply put out there some of the challenges that I are trying to make sure that I have quality teachers in front of my students, making sure they have effective instructional leadership, and recruiting teachers because it's such a small.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm David Stein here to do something special. My name is Sean Richard, and I'm an educator and education consultant here from Detroit. Essentially, education is to say that we are all needed to be able to go to college. I need to have access to turn around and make sure I can do the same thing with other people. What I want to be myself, I want to make sure I can become that leader for others.
I am Carolyn Reynolds, and I am a virtual educator with Online, currently working at Alabama High Schools. Alright guys, I need you to log in to your kid that is up on the screen.
So Online is helping out with solve our teacher shortage, going through full-time, providing us with quality certified instructional teachers. So it's just like that person is here. I always say that person can do everything except for person. They are part of professional development, they can do tutorial services, they do the teaching one-on-one with the children, they have parent conferences. So it's basically having someone here on staff, but they're just in virtual.
Virtual struggles that we've had, they are amazing. They have reached our students until they were standing right in the classroom.
My master's degree in instructional technology is really useful when it comes to virtual teaching. I'm able to think outside of the box, to be able to tailor and personalize instruction for all the students as a whole, but also each individual student.
I'm a husband teaching high school and college. So at the end of the day, you're a husband. At first, there's loans, there's wrongs, and students, they don't want to do all this. But as I have years, they become accustomed to the Lord and they assimilate to the expectation of excellence. And then when they get the school year, we see that their test scores are through the roof.
Mr. Blanchard, he's one of the best teachers I've ever seen.
This is like the biggest divide, right? And I full time at the time.
He has made some great relationships with our seventh graders. The children trust him. He's built them a sense of confidence. Sean believes that they can do well.
My students did so well, but I actually awarded the teacher excellence award. So it was amazing that I actually had a chance to go to that. It was special because I actually surprised my students and they're more crazy than you would call it. I know something.
I always say that I'm involved to my students. These are my kids. But this year specifically, I was able to develop a field trip with the students to Tybee Island. By the time I see them in person, they are ready. They see me across the parking lot and they come charging.
When you're in a small local community, you have to be willing to try something new. You have to be willing to go out and seek innovative strategies to bring to your students because innovation is there. You just have to figure out how to make it fit.
As educators, we're always trying to figure out how can we maximize technology to help our students. In rural schools, sometimes we're limited to resources. Sometimes we're limited to access to resources. Technology can bring things to us. Online provides an opportunity for young people to connect with certified educators that can educate at a high level. And having early marriage is a space where more schools and districts all around the country, all around the world, need to tap into.
Thank you so much. We got only one additional slide there. But as you can see, Full Mind is actually working for a school district. The last thing I wanted to share from Human Resources is that we have employed Vector Solutions, which is Safe Schools, and it is a platform that we can use for our teachers to receive mandatory training, such as ethics training, FERPA training, homelessness training, and the list goes on. But we assigned 11 modules this year, including bloodborne pathogens, sexual harassment, The completion window is from August the 9th to October 30th. We wanted to make sure we provided teachers and staff an opportunity, a good amount of time for them to be able to complete the modules. We're there to encourage boards to make them smart and to be able to make better decisions. We want to make sure that it's convenient, right, for our staff. Because they're doing a lot, but if they're able to get online to be able to do some of this mandatory training, and I would say that the trainings last from about 15 minutes, at most 45 minutes. So it's not really long modules, but these modules are helpful and they are convenient and they're allowing us to be able to do some amazing things with our training. It's not the local training that they'll get, but these are some mandatory training that teachers and staff have to get, especially at the beginning of the school year and as we move forward. Thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Dr. Miller. I will keep going. Next is our updates on our behavior code of conduct. Now, I didn't make copies for everyone, but what I will do is I'd like to just talk with the audience a little bit about our changes to our behavior code of conduct. And the board has a copy of the entire packet of our behavior code of conduct. This was not done in a silo. It was done in collaboration with staff. It has been shared electronically with staff, has been shared with families. Tomorrow will be shared with families and has been shared with students. Right, so it has been posted to our website. I believe I saw it on the website, right? It's on the website already, our behavior code of conduct. So we have been updating it based on policy as well. So we'll change some things in the policy, in our behavior code of conduct. We had to change some things based upon the provisos. So aiding others and instigating, so that has been changed. In terms of first occurrences, second occurrences, and third occurrences, we've also added cutting class because that was an issue we had to address. We've added the unauthorized cell phone use. We've changed those in terms of the days of suspension and 1 to 3 days of out-of-school suspension. We've also added the parking violations, some of the things that were left out of the code of conduct. We've added cutting school, that has been added as well. Fighting, which we separated that because it was just a little unfair to have fighting and for elementary and middle school and secondary to have the same kind of discipline as well. So we separated out secondary and elementary infractions for fighting. So that has been changed. Pornography, that has been added and updated. Refusal to obey the fines, some of those things have been upgraded a little bit. Tobacco use, we've had to make some changes there. Electronic contraband, with the help of our sheriff's department, we have made some adjustments there because of the vaping incidences that's going on around the world. So we had to make some adjustments there. We've had to change our weapons and make sure that we add that with weapons and delineate those. The cyberbullying, make sure we add the drug possession under the influence, extortion, and gatherings laws. We've had to change those based upon all the provisos. So one of the parents can be aware of some of those things that they will see in the code of conduct. And we have delineated weapons in terms of the length of the blade, so you will see that in there, whether it's 2 inch, over 2 inch, 2.5. So we delineated that, and then weapon in terms of a firearm, we separated that out because there needs to be a separation for those things. And then we've also updated the discipline matrix for transportation as well. So parents will see those things changing this on our website. We're doing something a little different this year. We're printing a copy to give every child their own personal copy. So we have ordered over 1,000 of these. So every child will get their own personal copy that will be sent home to every house. So it doesn't matter if there are 4 children or 8 children in a home, every child will have their own personal copy of the behavior code of conduct. Any questions? Anybody would like to ask any questions about that at this time? All right. That's it for me right now. And I'll come back in front of you and we'll talk a little bit about data. We'll move on. Yes, I stay up here.
Yeah, now to the policy update. Policy for GCC support staff, CCF. Policy for AR, GCCR, professional staff, UNS. Policy for IK, key motion, retention, and celebration for students. And policy for PA, comprehensive health education program.
So as I said to you, there are lots of policies that come down through provisos and through our legislation. And our board attorney is here in case I stumble a little bit. But the first one is our comprehensive health education program implementation. And that is one that came through our proviso. So our attorney normally gives us language, and they give us a legal memo. And this is one that they provide us the language for, and it allows a nurse or counselor, teacher or principal or official staff member knowing to give us some information on a child's gender, if it's inconsistent with their birth gender, if they decide that that's how they want to be recognized or called in school. So we had to put that into our policy. And we have done so as the law allows, and that is what that new policy is about. Okay? And it has been given to us by legislature, and attorneys have given us the language that we need to use to make sure that all the legal pieces is there. The next policy that we are looking at is policy CCR, professional staff leave absences. And that one is about our active and full-time employees who earn 1 1/3 days of leave on the last day of each month. So our policy has been updated, and so it used to be, help me if I'm incorrect here, that we would give time up front. So now we don't do that. We accrue time every month. So every staff member now accrues time, and they get 1 1/2 or 1 1/5 days every month. They build time as they attend work. So we had to update our policy to reflect that. We've also made some adjustments so that it is fair to all of our families. And we changed when they can be out for FFLA to make sure that when they can be out for staff sicknesses, because it was not inclusive of all family members. So we wanted to make sure that when they're out for mother, father, sister, brother, grandparents, stepchildren, stepbrother. So we made sure we tried to include on nieces and everyone so that we would give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Because immediate family for you is different from immediate family for you. Okay? So we try to be as all inclusive of that as possible. So we changed that as well. Okay? So those are some of the policies that we have been updating for our families and for our staff. I tried to highlight as much as possible in there. I highlighted what was changed in yellow, and I put the words in red, board member. so you can see some of the changes that were added. So if I have it in yellow or red, it means it was added. And so if you have any questions, you can see what has been changed for those policies. The next policy that I wanted to bring to your attention was the promotion and retention policy. Worked on this one with our staff members, and there were some things that we really need to work on because this one was out. So what we did, we added some additional information here for this uniform grading policy. We had to take out some old criteria that we were holding our children accountable for averages that did not go along with the state grading policy. That was still antiquated, so we were saying they had to have 75 to be promoted, and that's not what we're doing, so they have to have a 60. And then we changed that, and we also had to take out the requirement that they needed to have pass the state test. We had to take that out because that was against the law. And then we also had to have a delineation of all of the requirements for the number of credits they had to have for each one of the grade levels in high school. And we had to add the rules about the read to succeed in 3rd grade. So we changed all of our policy to reflect those initiatives. Okay. So we'll be doing this every board meeting, updating our antiquated policies so that we can get all of those up to date. So we're going to be working on our instructional policies because some of those are antiquated. They have not been updated since around 2013. So we're behind in updating our policies. So we do those with staff. Any questions at this? I have a question. Yes, ma'am.
You just said, you're saying about simply, what about the vacation time?
They do, but not all employees get vacation time. I think about 200 employees, those are year-round employees, get vacation. Teachers are 190 days, so they're off during the summer. They're required to leave. They get 3 personal days, and then they get their sick time. And then our 240-day employees, they get 10 vacations. They have to take out 3 persons, 12 10 vacations. So if you're a 240-day employee, how many 240-day employees? So you can just kind of see the people that are 240-day employees. Any more questions about leave? And we do have some classified employees that are 247. So those are the policies that we're working on. That's it for me.
At this time, Mrs. Frank will come, financial director.
Good evening, board members, community members. I'm going to be going over the financial statement for the month of July 2024. If you all can see this is beginning fiscal year July 1 to the end of the month, July 30. Okay, so for the revenues, budgeted revenue for 24-25 school year is $18,027,361. through the month of July 2024, we received $597,150. For the expenditures in July, we already spent, $901,402. As you can see, that is a deficit of $304,253. Naturally, the year just started. This deficit is nothing which is normal for this time of year because tax revenues don't start coming in until late in the school year, December, January. So usually through January, we're always upside down. When the tax revenues come in, we'll see the difference. Also, in the month of July 29th, we started our 23-24 school year audit. The audit team for McGregor Company was in the district for 4 days, as they usually do every July. And they will return possibly in May, September, or October. I don't have the date yet, but once I get the date, I'll inform the board. So they'll return to do the rest of the work, and our audit is not due to the State Department of Education until December 1st, and we are on track to have that submitted on time. Are there any questions? Thank you.
Did you discuss the approval by Superintendent Weaver?
Superintendent report, Governor School recommendation, South Carolina Regular Appeal, Steve Force Data Use.
I want to be able to address this board member Perry's question. Superintendent Weaver, we have to, she approved our budget, and I wanted to bring that to the forefront. She approved our budget in the letter, and I wanted to make sure that I made that public announcement. Since we're in the State Department control, our budget had to go to the State Department for approval, so she did do that approval, and we had a process. And that process was we presented our board our budget in 2 readings, the first reading and then the second reading, and then on one occasion, or 2 occasions, we did a preliminary with the State Department at first, and then on our second occasion, we went to present our budget to Superintendent Weaver and her staff. And then they reviewed it, and then they sent a letter of approval back to us. So I wanted you all to be aware. We did get the letter of approval. And did I send you the letter of approval? I think I didn't the letter of approval, but I did not. I need to send it to you. I think I sent it out. So you have that letter of approval. I want everybody to be aware of that. So at this time, we're going to have the Government School of Science and Mathematics to do some recognitions. And we're really excited to have them on board with us tonight. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm Dr. Zaria O'Brien. I'm Director of Partnerships at the South Carolina Government School for Science and Mathematics. Okay, I'd like to call Dr. Donna Bagley forward. actually tried a pilot program, or past school year, we tried a pilot program that was very successful. We wanted to make sure that students in the areas of Allendale, Bamberg, Hampton, and Jasper counties were aware of what we're doing at the other School of Science and Mathematics. So we were able to go through our foundation and raise money, send 12 students to a summer camp in Hartsville, the Government School for Northside Tech Residential Scholar. 2 students from Allendale County Middle School were awarded full scholarships that not only covered their tuition, but also their room, board, all the materials they needed, their transportation, everything they needed to take full advantage of this high-quality experience. The purpose was to not only raise their interest in STEM, but also to give them a challenging, fun, and interactive way of immersing in the GSSM living and learning community. So we're hopeful that Tyrese Hammond and Lucy Prayers came back and talked about all the wonderful things they did at camp. And as you can see, there are 12 spaces on this plaque. We are hopeful that our foundation will be able to raise enough money to continue this year after year. So we're excited about continuing to be in the Allendale community.
We're so very proud of our students. They had a wonderful time. I'd like to thank our staff for all they do to support them. Thank you so very much. We look forward to having more students. Thank you. Okay, this is the moment that everybody waits for to see how we're doing in terms of our academic performance and see whether or not our students are improving. So let's see where we are. Everything has not been released, but a few things have. So let's take a little view as to where we are. So we're going to look at our SC Ready and ELC data. It was released. So we're going to start with our elementary scores. Okay? Hopefully you can see this. If not, why don't you come up a little bit closer so you'll be able to kind of see where we are. And I'm going to move a little closer to the board so that I can see it. I don't have to just look at my notebook so that I can see it from this side. I can talk in this direction. Okay? So this is our SC Ready, and it's English and Language Arts and Math for our elementary school. So I always like to show red, green, and yellow because it's the basic colors, and it shows whether or not we're increasing or whether we're decreasing. So we're going to, and I like to show meets or exceeding. Now we get points for our children who are approaching. We always get points for that. We get points for meeting and exceeding. Meeting and exceeding is where we get the most points. We get points for children who are in the approaching category. We don't get as many points. I think we get 1 point for approaching. We get 1.5 for meets. And then we get 2 points for exceeds. Okay. So meets and exceeds, in 2023, we were at 33.8 in elementary, in grade 3, and in 24 with 36.0. So we made some increase. In grade 4, we're 35.5 with 44.9. So they made a tremendous increase. And then grade 5, we have a bit of a dip there. And overall, we had an increase. So So let's give them a hand. I'll admit, it's not where we want to be by any means, and Ms. Leaf will attest to that. It's not where we want to be by any means, but we did make an increase. Now, mathematics, you'll see all green. So we really worked on that. You can attribute that to great teachers. You can also attribute that because we had a new curriculum, Eureka. So you can also attribute that to that as well. So grade 3, we had 33.8, tremendous increase, 52.0. Grade 4, we had 32.3, and we have 36.2. Grade 5, 27.9, 29.2. Overall, from 31.3 to 39.1. Mathematics is a difficult subject, okay? And our children traditionally fall behind mathematics. So let's give them a hand for it. Parents, we have a lot of work to do. We're nowhere where we need to be because I'm not proud of 39.1. I'm proud of 39.3. We need to be far above that. Okay? That's needs and exceeds. Now, I'm going to show you some more numbers in a few minutes that will show you where we are with development approaching. So the numbers will look a little bit better there, but we still we have a long ways to go. Alright, so as I said, I'm going to show you some more numbers in a few minutes, right? Okay, so the number of children that were tested last year, okay? So you would look at approaches, meets, and exceeds. That's the children who we earned 1.4, 1.5, and 2 points. So that's all the children who are working on grade level, slightly below grade level, and above grade level. Does that make sense? So we want this number here, this number, you need this number to be in the 70th percentile. That's where you need this number to be. Why do you need that number to be in the 70th percentile? Because it includes the approaches children as well. So you really need it in the 75 percentile and above because it includes the approaches children as well. Alright? So this needs to be far above where it is. Okay? So if I take out the approaches children, it goes back down to the numbers that you saw from this. So that was in 2023. Here we are in 2024. Right? So we had 2 decreases here, and we had an increase here with approaches. But in needs and exceed now, we had some increases and a decrease here. But exceeds, we had increases. So this tells me that the children are moving in the categories. So you want to make sure that the children are growing and moving in the categories. So they're moving from approaches to needs to exceeds. So you could say that some of the children that were in the needs moved to the exceed category. And that's what you want to see was the children move among the bands. So let's look at mathematics. As I said, we did far better in mathematics than we did in the other subject. So this was 23. I didn't put stars there, but we did in mathematics. So you can see where the children are improving. It's far better here in math than in ELA. Approaches, we have a decrease here. It's okay, because these children probably moved in other categories. They move along the bands, because the numbers here increase. And that's what you want to see. You want to see the children move in the other categories. Any questions about the elementary school? So now let's look at the middle school. So For the middle school in English language arts, in grade 6, they have declined from 23 to 24. In the 7th grade, they had an increase. 8th grade, they had an increase. And overall, they had an increase. So they deserve some recognition because they had an overall increase as well. Now, mathematics, they struggle in mathematics because they have a decline. But I operate with full transparency. Does anybody know what happened at the middle school in mathematics? Who knows? That's all I want you to know what happened. They had no teachers, they had virtual teachers. That's the video that you saw. They had virtual teachers in mathematics. While those teachers did the best they could, they did have virtual teachers. So that does make a difference. Yeah, you're right. They came a little later in the middle of the year. Okay? All right. So we have them in grade 6. We have overall depth as well. All right. So now let's look at their comparison in terms of breaking down the scores. I always operate transparency. I do not hide any scores from the public. Does not mean it's categories. This was all last year, and here we are this year with English language arts. In terms of growth, approaches category, meets, exceeds, meets and exceeds, and approaches. So we have increase here in approaches, meets or exceeds. Those categories. Mathematics is where we struggle the most, but we still had some growth there. And when you break down, you look at the data. Okay? With the approaches. So the children are moving, even though they struggle, they are moving across the grade. Okay? So the overall approach, what you have to look at is the delineation so that you can see where the children are. So let's look at our high school. Right? So we have some great things happening there. We have some growth going, and then we got some struggles. But we're getting there. So in English 2 and 23, and then 24 we have growth. Algebra 1, look at all of that growth. We have what we call the Algebra 1 collaborative going on there. And we have a lot of growth there. You want to see some big growth, more growth. Biology, we have some growth. U.S. history, we have a big drop. We got some plans to turn that around. And then these are the children that scored C or above. Here are the children who scored D or higher. So those numbers are better, but we want more children here C or higher. All right? So here we have growth, we have growth. The U.S. history. We have to make a plan for that, and we have a plan for how we're addressing that. Plan and fail, we have a purpose, so we have to make sure that we have a plan. So we can't plan and fail. So when we look at our overall, it was 23, and here's 24. With how we have increased. Those are the children who made A's. Those are B's. Here are the averages, 90 to 100, 80 to 89, 70 to 79, 60 to 69, 0 to 59. Okay. So what I want to tell you about the data is data systemic. Okay? That means data happened for a period of time. These scores did not happen just overnight. These scores took years to happen. Okay? So it has been happening for a while. So in order to correct the problem, it has to start when they're small. So it starts in elementary, and elementary is working on it. They're producing a good crop of children who are reading and who are doing mathematics. They're actually great teachers at the elementary school who are doing a magnificent job in getting our children ready. But we do have children in middle school who are struggling with reading and mathematics. So it's in order to correct the problems in middle school, it takes some very innovative ideas and strategies in order to get them caught up. When they get behind, it's really hard to get them caught up. So we need them to come to school, we need them to stay after school, we need them to do the things that we're asking them to do, and parents need to help with that. So those of you all that are listening out there, I need you to support us with that so we can get our children here. Okay. So some of the things that we are doing this year, we have a major focus on teaching and learning. So we have a teaching and learning framework. We have monthly instructional focus. We have focus board expectations for our teachers. We have what we call Allendale's Best, bell-to-bell instruction, engaging all of our students, standards-based classroom, a target on learning, and then we have intentional professional development. We have KQ pacing guides, and we also have data-driven instruction. So those are some of the things we're working on diligently so that we can make some changes. Any questions? Dr. Hawks is struggling with illness. COVID is very real, and I know she does not say she's listening. She's struggling with it for almost 2 weeks now, and can't seem to shake it. So I ask your prayers for her. She's very big, she's going to do it. Any questions for me? Oh, thank you.
We'd like to thank each and every one of you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here tonight. We can't do that, so we need you all to be here to take our staff down to our work we're doing for our students. So at this time, we're going to recess into executive session for personnel update, retirement, resignation, termination, hiring, and transfer. You're more than welcome to wait to become out of executive session, but not out of future. Thank you.
Thank you.